All right, what is going on, people? This is your boy Olga Kwame. We are back with gang of four. For the Footy Fantasy Podcast comes to you live every Sunday
Mm.
at 3 p.m. Eastern. Today we have to start at 4 o'clock because the matches started later today in UK. They have that royal party going on, so that's why the matches started late this time. But we have Jesus Christ. We have two Arsenal fans making their debut on the podcast today. The famous Prince AY that everybody knows from the big group. This man is here, and I'm ready for the smoke. I'm ready for the smoke. But Prince AY, what's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm good, bro. How's everybody
Yeah,
doing?
yeah. I know you are. I know you are. Next, we have another guy. This is my guy from way back. I go way back with Bamiche. We used to go to church together, and he's an Arsenal fan as well. So, Bamiche, what's going on? How you
Not
doing?
much, man. I'm feeling good, man. I'm
I know
feeling
you
good
are.
today, man.
I know you are. You're looking like a dickhead.
You're a little different today, you know.
And of course, we have our chief Newcastle correspondent. The only Newcastle fan I know really but he's not one of those. He's not one of those like glory hunters. I think Raji has been following Newcastle, if I'm not wrong, since like what mid '90s. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
late 90s.
Okay. So yeah, Don Rajon, how you doing, man? You
I'm
good?
doing well. I'm very comfortable where I'm at. I'm actually happy today.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, there is no reason for you to be sad. I mean,
There's
you
no
can be
reason.
proud. You
I
can be
mean,
proud.
it's always fascinating when teams that are above you act like as if it's a big deal that they beat you. It's one thing.
No.
It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not like Newcastle beating Manchester United.
No. You cannot do that. No.
You just
You
started
cannot
now.
do that.
That's already bringing out.
Look at the pain
Raji,
in his
Raji,
eyes.
Raji,
Look at the pain in his eyes.
Can't start like that,
Relax,
man.
man. You got
This
a
guy
chance to
has
see something.
been on my case since April 23rd.
Calm down. Be coming down. Hold on. You get your chance.
You get your chance. You get your chance. Relax.
Yeah. Raji, you see these Arsenal fans, Raji, you see them.
I know. Look at the two of them.
No,
It's
but the
fine.
way-
We'll talk now.
But the way it started was not very nice. I mean,
How?
let's be honest.
But anyway.
Nah, we gotta ask. Am I supposed to be nice?
I mean, the intro you started off with, we're all doing the intro. We didn't start any shots yet. You're already firing. So
Let's talk.
But anyway, before we get the gloves out, hold on, guys. Make sure you follow us on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram. On YouTube, we are Footy Fantasy. On Twitter, we are Footy AD Fantasy, and on Instagram, we are Fantasy Footy. So if you do like our content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn on that notification bell. That way, you know when we're live and when we put up match reactions, and also like just some random football analysis videos from people like Yemi and Itata and things like that. And we are also. We're also look, it's not a good Sunday. I don't even know where to start. We have topics. I know we're gonna let's just go ahead and start with Arsenal because I don't want to start with my team. Y'all know what just happened. We lost to Southampton. I'm not Southampton. Shit. Freaking West Ham. But before that, let's go to Newcastle Arsenal. Look, guys. I'm not even gonna cap. Like this was that game, and Raji like. I was banking on your team, bro. Like I was banking on Newcastle to do the business against Arsenal today. Why? Not just because I mean everybody knows Newcastle's been good, right? But also because it was at Newcastle last year where Arsenal choked. Now they choked on that 12-inch, bro. Those guys choked. They were done, right? And the writing was on the wall.
Absolutely.
I guess they erased that writing. What happened, bro? What happened to the Zebra Crossing FC today?
It is true. It's true. The Zebra Crossing FC got beat today because Arsenal came in with quality, and showed that their determination worked. And I think that you got to give them props for the quality, not necessarily like the fact that they played significantly better, but the fact that they took their chances. And Newcastle had chances and they didn't take it. So, football works that way. You know, it would have been atrocious if after last season the manager of Arsenal saw how that game went and then he pushed them in again and had the same result. The hallmark of a good manager is looking at where you failed and trying to find a way to improve.
Learning your
So,
lesson. Yeah.
the truth about it is that game was always going to be difficult. But as a Newcastle fan, I have family members who are Arsenal fans, and hope is a dangerous thing. It's dangerous because you guys are still hoping to win this league. And if you had just lost the game today, everything would have been over. You would have been calm. Second place would have been good for you.
I agree.
But you guys will hold it and you keep that hope till the last game of the season and you still lose. But go on. Let's hear about how great Arsenal is.
Well, see, the
Coming
thing
in
is,
second.
talking about hope, bro. Like you see the kind of hope that exists in the Arsenal fan base, and you wonder how none of these Arsenal fans work for Barack Obama, right? Like it's just Hope FC out here, bro. Like mustard seed FC. That is what Arsenal is.
Let me
What they brought today?
before the Arsenal fans jump in, I want to give props to the Arsenal fans at the St. James Park Stadium who stayed throughout the game and kept their noise level high. The Arsenal fans kept the spirit, did a great job, and I think that despite all the noise at St. James Park, they were still prominent. It's not something that we say of Arsenal, generally speaking.
Mhm,
Fans are wishy-washy. But, good kudos to them today. I don't have much else to say. Let's leave Prince I because Prince I apparently has a lot on his mind.
Prince White.
This thing has been burning him for weeks. He wants to see, he even knows the date, April 23rd. I forgot the date. Prince I, you've been looking to say something. Please. You have
Raji, you know what that means? That means you've been living rent free in Prince.
It's not even about living rent. You know that there's this popular Nigerian saying that Jeja I did. Like I just did my thing. I'm just enjoying the league. Unprovoked. I just started tagging. I'm like, what is this? Like what have I done to deserve it? And I'm like,
no.
Whoa. No, I'm not gonna let you go there. What have you done to deserve this?
Guy,
no. I mean from Raji, no. I can see the thing that I can't take it from anybody else. But Raji, I'm sorry, but you are nobody.
See this level of racist soccerism that is going on right now.
Classism. That's what it is. Classism.
Why is it that Newcastle fans cannot say anything?
Jokes aside, I can't take it from anybody else. Like Chelsea fans, but Raji, from nowhere, unprovoked. I'm like,
No, but honestly,
what did I do to you? I'm like, even if you check my predictions for the season, even at the beginning of the season, you said I had Newcastle coming third, and I'm like, why is this guy coming for me unprovoked? I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna keep quiet and just wait.
So AY, tell us. We now you're done gloating. Tell us about the match. What did you think about Arteta's? Because you look, Thomas Partey was out of that midfield today, and I think Jorginho, in my opinion, Jorginho,
I think I think that game was a game of margins when Newcastle were dirty. Like these guys, they came prepared. They were like, if we can't win the ball, at least we get you off the ball one way or that. This guy's like. At some point, I was like, are we playing like rugby or what exactly are we playing? Like these guys came prepared. Because the thing there is that if you want to play Arsenal, you have to, if you can't knock them off the ball, you have to knock them off somehow. You can't let them be in their rhythm. And these guys were on our case. Like, I was just seeing Saka flying left, Martinelli right. I'm like, Dan Bond was like, as if, no, Saka, like, I'm going to deal with you today, whether you like it or not. You have to either, deal with the physicality or somehow. How that game ended 2-0, honestly, I don't know how. To be honest.
Bamishe, would you say that the scoreline is flattering? Because a neutral sees the scoreline 2-0. No, because a neutral will see that scoreline 2-0 and they're like, Arsenal completely dominated. Do you think?
No. So honestly, Newcastle shocked me with the lineup to start off. I didn't expect them to start both strikers. They had Isak, and then the issue here is if you watch some of the games after we've had a lot of trouble this season. it were games where they had two strikers, or like a guy was playing behind and a guy was like leading the front.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one I saw was like the Brentford game when we had to play in Buemo, as well as what's his name again? The guy that played for Brentford.
Ivan Toney.
Yes. Like it was difficult to like watch both players, because after I played with that wing inverted like wing back with Dejavu, which leaves about 3 at the back. So you're playing 2 against 3, makes it difficult.
Yeah.
And then Man City did the same thing as well, where they played Haaland and they played De Bruyne as well behind. And I think that was what it was trying to go for, that I'm going to suffocate Arsenal's defense by playing 2 strikers. So I was very shocked with the starting point. But to be fair, I think the reason why Arsenal won today was because of Ramsdale. Pope and Ramsdale both play for England. But there's no doubt in my mind.
These guys earned their money today. Like, they really earned their wages, especially Ramsdale. He was really, really on it. It was like today, not today. You know?
I mean, the game could have been over within the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Newcastle had chances.
I mean, Ramsdale hit in the first 2 minutes.
I mean, I was terrified for Arsenal. The first 10 minutes, I thought it was done, honestly.
Yeah.
But then they rode the wave, and then they took over the game, and then they scored the first goal, which kind of settled everything. I think the changing point of the game was the penalty that they didn't call. Because Arsenal got woken up at that moment, like was the point where they realized they were in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, honestly, Partey might never play a game for Arsenal like a starter for a long time.
Really?
Because Jorginho, I'm telling you, like, Jorginho played well.
He did.
I was in shock.
I'm sure, hold on. Yeah. I hear Jorginho played well, but to say Partey will now never play for Arsenal just because of what Jorginho did today.
I mean, I'm saying started what?
No.
I think they're gonna go out and get somebody else to replace him in the summer.
Okay.
Or like Caicedo or Rice. But somebody's gonna go out there and get somebody else, because Partey has been complacent for the past 4 weeks, probably.
You can say he's been complacent, right? But to say Partey is not going to play, man, I disagree with you, man. Because even looking at our game today, even Xhaka has been like very poor in the last 3-4 weeks. He's been very poor, but there's really no one in the team to kind of do the same thing that he does, right? So that's why he's just been getting away with it, right? Even saying that Partey will not, man, I disagree. I think
he's gonna play. I'm saying to start the game, because I don't think he's gonna like overthrow Jorginho for the rest of the season. Probably.
I honestly,
Go ahead.
I honestly don't think that Jorginho has played as well as you guys thought that he played. I think that one of the things that you have to understand is Partey brings a commanding position to the midfield, and this game, I mean, I heard what you were saying about the starting lineups, and I think that one of the mistakes that the coach made was letting Isak play, because we didn't play 4-4-2. We played 4-3-3, which is basically what we've always played before.
Isak played on the left, right?
Isak played on the left. He didn't play in the middle. What I would have preferred was if Alan Saint-Maximin actually started and Isak started in the middle, because what happened was the creativity of Isak was displaced all the way to the back, and the person who was Callum Wilson, who was playing the striker, never got a sniff at the ball. There was no point in this game where Callum Wilson controlled the forward. And the problem with Callum Wilson is that he's very one-dimensional. Callum Wilson can play he's a poacher. And he scores some good goals once in a while, but he's primarily a poacher. And if the Arsenal defense is not giving him an opportunity to poach, that's the end of his game.
Yeah.
Isak can do a lot more than that. Isak can drift back, drift to the wings, come in from all sides. I mean, you've seen his goal against Everton. He can do all sorts of things. And if he had started with someone like Saint-Maximin on the left, you would have had a significantly more difficult time. So I think that was where we lost the game. We didn't lose the game in the midfield.
Raja, are you also surprised? That because you've seen, I mean, we've seen Arsenal falter in these last maybe 3-4 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And we've seen how Zinchenko has been exploited, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's playing that inverted fullback role. If you want to beat Arsenal, you have to take advantage of Zinchenko. Yeah. Do you think Almiron could have done that? I mean,
I think that so this is the problem with our coach sometimes. he can be very friendly to the players and he may not be ruthless enough. I think that many of those chances at the very beginning, like that ball that what's his name shot?
Jacob Murphy.
Jacob Murphy shot at the very beginning. I don't think that Almiron would have missed that. But I think the point that you just made about the Zinchenko thing, we exploited the Zinchenko thing from the very beginning. It was not unexploited. The problem is we never finished our chances.
So the
keeper did a great job.
High quality.
Yeah, the keeper did a great job, and I think if the keeper had a bad day by just an inch, that game could have ended 2-2 or 2-1 or even 3-2 for Newcastle. So
I think it could have even ended like maybe 2-0 because Arsenal conceded first in those first 2 minutes. We're talking about a different game.
Yeah, if we had scored in those first few minutes, it would have been a different game. But this game was a game of margins. But go on.
But after Arsenal scored, right, there was a point of like 20 minutes, actually towards the end of the game as well, where we had like clear-cut chances. There was the one that Martinelli had one, Xhaka had one as well. The Odegaard one as well. I mean, these were like 3 clear-cut chances.
But you have to understand. You have to understand the game at that particular point. Newcastle was chasing the game, and they had to create openings. And if Newcastle had scored that first goal, those openings would never have existed.
I agree with that.
I don't. Like I said, this is not a question of did Arsenal deserve to win. Arsenal deserve to win. If you score 2 goals, you deserve to win. But we have to be factual about the stuff. This game was not a wash. It was a very tight game. And I think that it was a really good game of soccer. The good team, the better team at this particular point won the game, but we definitely bam-bammed.
No. You know what? You're right. And I think this is what today, and this is the last where I think I'm gonna say about the Arsenal Newcastle game before we move on to the next topic. That game today was really it was a preview of the second 2 best teams in the league after Manchester City, right? Because you look at the way my team went to St. James's Park. Was it 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago? We got smoked, bro. Like we got molested. We were filing a sexual harassment complaint.
But that's regular though. Like this, it's just.
I see why AYE is giving trouble now. I see what it does. I see why now.
But the point I'm trying to make is we've seen Newcastle put teams to shame at St. James's Park, right?
Tottenham.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for Arsenal to go there and go toe to toe, it was really I think it was, of course Arsenal edged it because of quality, right? They just had more quality in front of goal. But really those are the 2 best teams in the league this season after Manchester City. So shout out to Newcastle. They definitely came to chill with the big boys, and they're doing it. They deserve it. So let's move on to the next topic, which is and I want Raji to address this one, which is literally, I think that's the reason behind Newcastle's success this season, the defensive solidity. Of course, you guys conceded 2 goals today, but throughout the season, you guys have been impermeable. What is the reason for that defensive solidity, right?
I think I can go through this very quickly. I think that generally speaking, one of the reasons why we are defensively strong is generally because we attack in the front. We forced teams to make mistakes in the first third, right before they get to the half line, right? So within the first third, we try to get them to make a mistake. If they make a slight mistake, you see the team swarm to try to take over the ball. And if they do that, they push forward immediately. Maybe they get that ball, they pass the ball to Trippier, who is always on the wing, who is always joining the attack, and he tries to get the ball into the box. So that's generally Newcastle's play. We're very intense, especially in the first third. And then if we lose the ball if we don't gain the ball in the first third, you see everybody just drop back immediately. And they try to stop it happening in the third before Newcastle. So if you look at the way Arsenal scored today, their first goal, you saw that all of them, they created blocks of 4 banks, and they tried to stop the stuff. And the fact that he shot the ball and it was so precise doesn't change the fact that this is basically how Newcastle tries to defend. It's like, if we can't get the ball in the opponent's first third, we all push back, we block it there, and then immediately we get the ball, we get the balls to the wingers who are running fast. We have Alan Maximin, Isak, who is extremely fast, and we have midfielders. And the final thing that we do is we have those midfielders who are extremely good distributors, especially Bruno. And if you give Bruno space, and that's one of the things that Arsenal did today, they didn't give Bruno any space, and they didn't give anybody a chance to get the ball from him. So, I mean, they didn't give him any open passing lanes, basically. So they blocked his passing lanes, and when he was with the ball, they confronted him very quickly, which is how they scored their first goal too, right? Which is what led to their first goal. But, that's generally how they play, with intensity, and I think that's been their driving factor for the whole season. A lot of teams can't cope with that, and similar teams, this is kind of how Liverpool started. This is kind of how Man City plays. This is kind of how Brighton plays. The only problem is Brighton doesn't have a striker. If they had a great striker, then Brighton would be something else.
If you put Isak in Brighton, it's over.
Yeah,
it's over.
So, can I also
go ahead, I'm sure.
So I'm surprised at how good Isak has been, actually, honestly. Because I know, it was actually, before it was bought by Newcastle, it was linked to Arsenal, right? And I actually said I didn't want him. But now I look back today and I said, I've watched him a few games now, and I'm absolutely shocked at how good the guy is.
Oh, yeah.
For a guy who's so lanky and, tall, he's very skillful on the ball as well.
He's silky on the ball.
Good.
Yeah.
He reminds me of a fat Kanu Wanko. Honestly, that's how it reminds me of. Like a fat Kanu Wanko. Because he's so lanky, but he's actually got very good strength. He can actually dribble. I'm very shocked, honestly.
I think that he has that Haaland factor too. That hunchback run, that he just hunches back and he just runs. It just gives him more stability. And because of his long legs, they are very deceptive. Because you never know if he can actually reach the ball. And it's like you get very confident that you can, but all of a sudden, because of his long legs, he will just do something and he will just confuse you. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, he's silky. He's long legs and he's strong. I see defenders just bounce off him. Even though he's lanky, the dude has some real core strength. And I've been watching. I saw some of him at, was it Real Sociedad that you guys got him from?
Yeah.
And he was saucing. He was saucing out there. But I also want to make, when I look at Newcastle, I don't see. I look at your midfield and I don't see any kind of destroyer type of midfielder, right?
Joe Linton.
Bruno, he is, but he doesn't. He's a destroyer midfielder, but he doesn't how everybody wants that DN that shields the back four. He doesn't really stay in that. He doesn't shield the back four, but he's a destroyer, and that's kind of helps you guys. When you talk about swarming the opposition when you lose the ball in the first third or the second third. Joe Linton is very, very key in the way you guys win the ball back. That guy is a tout. Joe Linton is just a tout. And
it was very hard, though.
Yeah,
it was very hard.
He's a conductor.
I think that one of the things that you should look at next season is the kind of players that Newcastle recruits. I think that we're not going to be going for any big players. We're going to be going for ball-playing center backs. We'll go for another midfielder, maybe a McAllister, even though he may be priced out of Newcastle's range. And then we're probably going to go for wingers. But the general thing is,
John, there's nothing out of your range. You literally go to budget.
You think that we're going to Chelsea-fy our team? I think that the thing about Newcastle is that they're not all the teams in the Premier League. They are looking at Newcastle with. If Newcastle makes one mistake, they'll take that club away from PIF.
I agree.
Newcastle is going to play within the rules.
Yeah.
And this Champions League is going to help them.
Yeah.
Talking about recruitment, I know Tierney has been linked to Newcastle, right?
Mm-hmm.
I pray to God we don't make the same mistake we made with Willock. I hope that, because like if we give them Tierney with the kind of coach they have and their wing play, we're gonna be in trouble. I think it's easy to say now because we got a very good season because we didn't have too many teams challenging. But Man U would recruit. Newcastle will probably recruit more players. Liverpool would not be the same they did this year. They're gonna come back next year. If we give Newcastle Tierney, we're gonna regret it. Do you agree?
But isn't it you're not playing Tierney though? Why aren't you playing Tierney? So you just want him to sit down on your bench?
The same way they
I mean, no.
No.
Next, the thing is, next season we're going to have a lot of games. Like, the only problem I have with Arteta is I've noticed that he actually likes to work with a smaller squad. Now, there's a problem with working with a smaller squad because now next season we're going to have more games. There's Champions League, there's all the games, right? So you can't.
And there's Europa League too for you, you know.
For who? Maybe you. I mean,
you enter Europa.
So that's just, the fact that he likes to work with a smaller squad is actually a concern for me because I'm like looking at him in such a way that the way we play today, if you had left Zinchenko on for say another 10-15 minutes, Newcastle probably have gotten something out of that game. I'm like, okay, let him yank and Zinchenko off and just play Tierney. So there are some games that I'm looking at that, we don't need this inverted role, like just play your regular guy that just can come down the wing and support Martinelli up front. It's not every time, but this Arteta, Pep, they have this mentality that every way we have to play the same way. Regardless of
that's the mark of a great coach. If you're going to be great, your way.
I get what you're saying, but sometimes you don't have to play the way. See, for instance, when Pep came to Emirates, they didn't play the same way. They had like 32% of the ball. What they were doing, like they were just playing long balls, which kind of caught Arteta off guard. When we went to the Etihad as well, Pep switched up his tactics. Instead of having Haaland up front, De Bruyne was one playing false nine, and then Haaland was playing as a false nine, and then De Bruyne was playing as a second striker. So like sometimes you have to mix up your games, right? So
well, I hear you, but I think Arsenal fans, you guys haven't even Arsenal altogether, you guys haven't given Arteta that big deep squad for you to say that he cannot manage a big squad. He's working with a small, same as Ten Hag at Manchester United, right? I mean, when you look past the first top 11, maybe 12 players, what are you saying? I'm seeing
that's true.
I'm seeing man like Vegas, bro. So I think that's so. When
you make a valid point. You make a valid point, Jola, because again, like Man City played with 22 players in the squad. It's a very small squad as well, but there's no drop off when they switch the teams around.
Exactly, there's no drop off.
Like Alvarez would start for most of the teams. I mean, teams in the league, but the backup player, right? Compared to Arsenal playing in Ketia, there's a huge drop off with those players that we call backup. Yeah. It's not a matter of how small your squad is; it's how well those players will come in. Supporting player can fit into the team and play as well as the other players.
But Alvarez, let's not deceive ourselves. Alvarez is a big drop off from Haaland, man.
Well, because Haaland is so good.
But that's the thing, though. There's Haaland and then there's everybody else. I don't know what you mean.
No, but Radon, I don't think it's. I don't want to say. I think it's an insult to Alvarez to say it's a big drop off from Haaland, right? Everybody is a big drop off from Haaland, right? And what Pep does not ask of Alvarez the same things he asks of Haaland. So I think Alvarez, for what Pep wants Alvarez to do, let me put it this way: Alvarez walks into the first 11 of any top 6 side. He does.
Maybe.
Big mountain. He does.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
He won't bench Arsenal.
I'm not sure. I don't think he will bench Jesus.
Alvarez is great. Okay, Bamishe, would you rather have Alvarez or Edin Ketia?
But he won't bench. But Jesus, what about Jesus?
I think he's good enough to bench Jesus, though.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think he's good enough to bench Isak.
Not Isak either.
Callum Wilson, though.
Callum Wilson, sure.
That's for you guys.
So he's a good second striker.
I mean,
basically what he's playing at Manchester City.
No, but Don, the point here is that if this guy played for anybody else but the top 4 teams, right, currently, right, it would be a starting striker. Not too many other teams in top 4 can say they have a second striker that will walk into any other teams.
That's
fair. I can see it for the top any team outside of the top 4. Yeah, I can see.
Okay, let me put it this way: any team outside of the current top 3. Okay, any team outside of the current top 3. Listen, I will bite your hand. I will bite your hand off if you offer me Alvarez right now, bro. You
take Alvarez over Rashford.
I just finished watching. Man, like I just finished watching a Kentucky Derby horse play striker for me right now. That's what I just finished watching.
But the thing about it is, I don't think it's Rashford's fault. They keep pushing him to the left. If Rashford was playing striker, he would have.
Rashford's not a striker. Rashford's not a striker.
You don't think he's a striker?
No, he's not. He's not a striker. I know. I don't want to beat this. We're going to talk about Manchester United. We're going to get to Manchester United. But AY, I want you to address this Xhaka issue. I think we need to talk about how, because Arsenal fans, you man have questions to answer. Because 2 years ago, even last year, I like every single time I turned around, Arsenal fans were talking about Xhaka needs to go. I remember when he had that whole thing with the captain's armband. I forgot who you guys were playing, where he threw the captain's armband to the floor when he was getting up. Right, like you guys were calling for his head. Maybe for good reason too. You can't win without him right now.
In a way, I kind of agree. Even when everyone was calling for his head, like in the internal group, everyone was always laughing at it, because there's always something I always say that even as bad as Xhaka has been in the past 3-4 years, why is every manager always picking him? There has to be something. 3 managers cannot be wrong. Yeah, even though Arsenal is failing on him, but like why? Like what exactly is he bringing? If you look at it in isolation, right? Xhaka is a player that I think for the most part has been played out of position 1, and then the players around him have not been good enough, right? So I think when you now have it he's now playing in a system where he has better players around him. He's more the roles that he's playing is not as before. It was actually do too many things. Right, you have to defend, you have to join the attack, you have to do this, play this, that, and do that. But I think right now his role is actually much more refined, as opposed to having him do everything, right? And then and again, Xhaka is very temperamental. Like any little thing, right? That anger, that emotion. I think sometimes he gets caught in the emotion, and then the emotion just gets the better of him. Even today, everybody was like, "This guy, just calm down, just calm down," because everybody has that back of their mind that this guy, like,
I just loved when Xhaka and Joelinton were going to
right? He, as a neutral, you're like, damn, you like this, but as an Arsenal fan, at back of your mind, like, guy, I beg, just go, just leave him. Because in my mind, I'm like, if we lose this guy, that midfield there will just be a lot of drop off, because I noticed like today for the first 5 minutes, it wasn't as attacking as it used to be. It was very conservative in the sense that it was helping Jorginho in that midfield, because man, if you remove him from that midfield, Newcastle were just going to run us over, right? So when it was going at it, I was like, just chill, forget the emotion. Something else I actually did like today was how he was wasting time. Normally Newcastle, like, it didn't sweet my belly. That's the only way to do it. When I was seeing Newcastle fans, like Newcastle players complaining about us wasting time, I was like, hey. So this is how it, because I can tell you that at least Xhaka wasted 10 minutes out of the whole 90 minutes in that game.
No, but Newcastle did the same thing when it came to the Emirates. Like
that's what I was saying. Like, so it was like, for me, it was like, I was so happy seeing them. Like, I was like, Newcastle complain about time waste. No. You have to take your own medicine.
I think this is all water under the bridge. I don't know what to do. Everybody wastes time. What's the special thing? There's nothing special about wasting time. There's nothing special about it. There's nothing special. Newcastle is not like above the ground on teams that waste time.
Nah,
it's not a big deal.
Done. Let me. You with the West man. You watch out.
No.
Waste this time. No. But
the way they just waste time, eh?
But that's part of
it now.
Game management.
It's part of the black heart. Yes, I mean, if your team is doing it and they're doing it, like you can't always win both ways, right? If your team is doing it, like okay, yes, the team is. But if they're doing it against you, like what is all this? Like even when I think it was the second sub or something, the way Newcastle players were running out of, I was like, oh wow, so they can run. Interesting.
What?
But you have to understand that some of these things, Newcastle waste time in a game where they need to waste time. Or I mean, we call it waste time, but game.
Well, obviously, it's
manage games. Everybody manages games. When Newcastle was playing, I don't know, Manchester United, we didn't manage the game. We wanted to put the game in play. When Newcastle was playing West Ham, we were just attacking them relentlessly. It's not a question of it's if it calls for it, it calls for it. And the people that complain about wasting time, it's just almost like, oh, it's either they're spinning them or this thing is affecting their sleep.
Now, like
it's affecting their sleep. You know, it's like teams do this. There's nothing against it. So
but today it was actually good to see that the Arsenal players were ready for that shit housery, man. Like everyone just even Jesus once it's on the floor. I'm like, what? Like get up. We know that nothing is wrong. Just get up.
I think if there's anything that I appreciated about Arsenal in this game was the fact that they shithoused quite well, and I'm not against shithousery. I think shithousery is part of the game, and if you can do it well, you can do it well. If you can't do it well, then
it's something you're born with. You have to be born with it. Players like Xhaka, players like Joelinton, players like Casemiro. You know, there are some players that are just born with that shithousery. You know, but people like Xhaka, without doing it,
but to be fair as well, like honestly, I would like to give credit to Arteta as to how Xhaka is turned around very well. Honestly, and I think he said to him, he had a talk with him at the beginning of the.
There's an echo somewhere.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So at the beginning of the year, he talked to. What's going on?
You might want to.
Yeah, we can hear you though.
But go ahead.
What he told Xhaka was that if you can play this role, which is not a box to box, wasn't more like a defensive role, because I think everybody else who's played by the CDM. Xhaka is not a CDM.
Xhaka is not a CDM. He's an 8.
He's a box to box. He plays what I call the Gundogan role, which is basically that role where like you link, you join the attack when you can. You play very little defensive role.
Carry the ball.
Exactly. And that's what he's done very well this year. And he told him at the beginning of the year, he said, if you can play that role, I will have to find somebody else to replace you. That was what Arteta told Xhaka. And he's played that role very well. That you have no choice. And if you actually look at Xhaka as well, he's actually lost weight. He looks more fit than he's ever been in years. I mean, he looks more fit than he's been in years. Anyway, do you agree?
Yeah. And another thing with Xhaka is that guy is an engine. I don't know where he gets his strength from. Xhaka will run from when you have these players that they just never get tired. Like they will just be there. Like from the minute 1 to minute 90, right? They're always there. You have this engine guy that is always fit, is always available as well. as long as you know it doesn't get mad, because that madness is something that you always keep at the back of your mind. But the irony of it is that, you know, when I was looking at the stats, Xhaka has never been sent off for a second yellow card. You know, as dirty as Xhaka is, he has never been sent off for a second yellow. So you can know that sometimes I think it's just at the back of his mind, okay, yeah, I'm on the booking, or he just does something stupid and just gets sent off. But whenever he's on the booking, he never gets a second yellow. So, yeah, I agree.
The fact that he lost weight was good, because Newcastle found it easy to slap him around. Even if he didn't lose the game, I enjoyed all the beatings that all the Arsenal players had at St. James Park. Anyway, I'm done with this topic. We can move to the Manchester United. Let's talk about
those
something
guys.
exciting.
When they go back to London, they'll probably go off a double ice bath or something because man.
The thing about it is, despite all the noise, nothing changed. Nothing changed today. Nothing. That's just nothing. Nothing changed. Yeah, Arsenal is still second. Newcastle is still third. Manchester United is still fourth. Nothing changed.
But at least you collect beating, Sha. That's what I know. Moving on.
I see all the red marks on the Arsenal players. It's one thing to lose the game. It's another thing to go home crying. So let's.
Before we move on, like going to St. James Park is so funny because where they put the away fans, I was like, why? It was sounding like an echo. Like you could not even hear the Arsenal fans singing. I'm like, these guys are so far up. It was as if they were whispering. I'm like, damn. Like, how is that even allowed? Like, it's like there are no away fans there.
Basically, the away fans are the very top.
They put them away. Like,
they were sitting with Jesus. They were sitting with Jesus.
If you want to support from the atmosphere,
there's no regulation against it. Go and do it at Arsenal.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Maybe you have joined the Bam Bam Big Boys. Don't worry.
Look, if you come to my house, you sit where I tell you to sit. Okay?
Abi. Look at Arsenal. They talk like as if they own the league.
I know.
We want to be in front
in
of
our
the
hearts. In our hearts, we want it. Don't worry. Don't worry about it.
Honestly,
that's why France won that World Cup, because in their hearts they lifted the World Cup.
They won it.
But honestly, it's not over yet, because there's this particular week where like they have Madrid, Man City has Madrid.
Let me be honest.
It's over.
No, look at this. This is the reason why you needed to lose today, because this hope that is going to start carrying you. This guy said it's not over.
No, I think that like
which game is Manchester City going to lose?
Like 7-8 years ago, right? Man City thought it was over, right? And they won on the last day of the season, right? Initially, yes. So this is my take. On it, right? Initially, I thought it was done as well, right? Because I thought today we're actually going to choke. I thought we're going to be done today.
Okay.
I thought we're going to be done today, honestly. But I look at the games where they have Everton and they go to Madrid, and then they have Brighton and they have like Brentford. Like that short period of time, they would have to rotate. I don't think they would lose games. My concern is they might draw games.
Okay. You know they can lose a game.
Too much, Joe.
Maybe. Let's take comment. African Man Reacts here for the show. Sorry, it's been a long time since I looked at those comments. Facebook user said, have we talked about De Gea yet? Bro or sis, whoever you are, we will. Listen, it's Jesus. And if you're commenting on Facebook, the app does not have access to like pull your name. So just kind of put your name behind the comment so we know who you are and to roast you appropriately if warranted. And just a reminder again, follow us on YouTube. We're at Footy Fantasy on YouTube. Twitter, we are Footy80 Fantasy, and on Instagram, we are Fantasy Footy. Make sure to share the videos if you enjoy them. And also there will be like that if you don't feel like watching the entire show once this uploads to YouTube, EJ, our I guess editor, usually like makes cuts of these videos and puts like a little like a 7 to 10 minute highlights, so you can just watch that instead when it comes up on YouTube. Let's just go ahead and talk about Manchester United. And I think, I don't know if Ayo is watching. I don't know if Chuki's watching. I give up. Okay. Ayo, I apologize. Chuki, I apologize. I have been behind David De Gea for a long, long time. And look, I think at this point, I will have to consider myself one of those, like, maybe I would consider myself as maybe delusional a little bit with my defense of David De Gea. It's over, bro. Nah, we're done. It's time to cut ties, bro. It's time to cut ties. Cut that umbilical cord, bro. cut that umbilical cord because nah. This guy, bro, I could have put a newborn baby in that goalpost to save that shot. How many times have we seen De Gea make high-profile errors leading to goals? Not only goals. Look, if you were leading 3-0 and you make a howler like that, cool. Shit happens. This guy costs us every single time. This guy costs us, bro. Every single time. I will not forget Sevilla. Every single time it happens. This guy is the highest paid goalkeeper. The highest paid goalkeeper in the world. 375,000 pounds a week, bro. And you know what? He's rejecting a new contract because we're trying to give him 200,000. My guy, come and be going. Bro, I'm done. It is over. In fact, come on. You want to pay me 200,000 a week? I will catch anything. This guy is, what is he going soft? This guy is, bro. This guy is selling a limp dick, bro. I'm telling you, I'm done. I am done with David De Gea. His distribution is improved this season, but fam, it's not good enough. Right. So what I'm getting from him is just not. It's just not worth it anymore. Okay. I can go to Brentford and get David Raya, right? Man is about to be on a free. He's about to be a free agent. I think he has 1 year left. We can give them 40 million. Bring him. Give Brentford 40 million. Bring David Raya. I'm done with the hair. Tell me one goalkeeper in the Premier League. Tell me one goalkeeper in the Premier League in the top 10 of the Premier League. Even Kepa is not costing Chelsea as much as David De Gea is costing Manchester United.
The issue is this, right? Is that when Arsenal decided to buy Ramsdale, right, for 30 million and let Ben Leno go, people were surprised and said, "Why did we pay 30 million for another goalkeeper, for a different goalkeeper?"
Yes.
Right? The difference is not that. It's the issue is that keepers like that win you titles, like that 10-point change. But De Gea is a good shot stopper. Is he good enough to win titles? Not anymore. I'm sorry, you have to go.
Newcastle's goalkeeper was worth 10 million. Just so we are clear, it's not always the money. But you have to understand that you can say all of these things, but I can tell you the amount of games I've watched this season where De Gea has been the one that saved you.
Yeah.
Catching magnificent balls with his head, with his toenail, with his tongue. This guy will jump, will put out his tongue, and his tongue will save the ball. Nah, you can't just be disrespecting him because he made one game. Nah.
Okay, let me take comments.
I see what you are doing. You're not a good person. You're not a good man. I see what you are doing. No. I can see right through you.
Hey, why? You want them to keep the goalkeeper so they can keep losing. He's giving them
I didn't talk about whether they should keep him or not. I didn't talk about whether they should extend his contract or not. What I'm saying is, don't disrespect the guy. The guy has
okay.
You can get a new keeper if you want, but De Gea has kept you in many games this season.
Look. Let me respond to that, but let me take comments real quick. We're saying, man, you keep an short one, dead food. Jola cannot, bro. I catch pounded. I can catch pounded yam in my sleep, bro. Pounded yam, amala, ever. I catch everything. Don't be out here disrespecting me. Pay me 200 G's a week. Pay me 200 G's a week, bro. I will even catch COVID. Get out of here. Okay. Let me address your point. Nobody is over here talking about, De Gea has always been a shitty goalkeeper. No. I remember the time when De Gea won Player of the Season for Manchester United 4 seasons in a row. 4 seasons in a row. Like I think that season where we finished second in the league, even though it was a false second, we were like 21 points behind Manchester City. I mean, De Gea kept us in that season so many times. So many times De Gea has spared our blushes. The point is this: I'm under a new management. Okay. I have hired a new company to demolish the house and rebuild it, right? I cannot have the same old furniture, right? Expensive ass furniture too. That is just luxury right there. When I'm trying to do a rebuild, the people that the hair skeptics, the way they have, the way they've defended their position is that, look, the way Ten Hag wants to play football is heavily reliant on a ball-playing goalkeeper, right? You guys have seen it at Arsenal. If Ramsdale was not a ball-playing, what did Arteta do first when he came? Leno, out, gone. Brought in Ramsdale, right?
But how many players are you going to change?
No. It's not about how many players are you going to change. We're talking about the things that form the fundamentals, right, of your playing style. Talk about Arteta all you want, right? What I've seen, whether you guys bottle it or whatever, what I can see is that Arsenal has a playing style, right? And they pass the ball well. They beat the press every single time. Well, most times, right? That is possible. Why? Because they have a goalkeeper that can play the ball out easily. Newcastle, Nick Pope is better better on his feet than most people think. Way leaps and bounds ahead of De Gea in that category.
I mean,
right?
he stopped 2 goals today with his feet.
Exactly. And De Gea, Raji, have you not seen De Gea make saves like that with his feet in the past?
Yeah.
So the point I'm trying to make is other keepers can do that. I saw Nick Pope do it today, right? Other keepers are like, bro, what's that goalkeeper in Brighton?
Ryan.
Jason, no, not that's Brentford.
Oh, sorry.
Jason Steele. Bruh, man is playing ball with his feet. The point I'm trying to say is this: De Gea is a good shot stopper, right? However, the margin of shot stopping ability between him and other like decent goalkeepers in the league, it's not huge. It's not wide, and it certainly does not warrant the difference in wages, and it also doesn't warrant the difference in how he costs his team major games.
Look, I'm not going to argue with you on whether Manchester United needs a new goalkeeper or not. Whether they get a new goalkeeper or not is their business. The thing about it is they always do this thing where instead of developing a player, they just go, oh, wow, this player is rubbish. Let's get somebody else to replace him. This player is rubbish. Let's get somebody else to replace him. You're never willing to say, hey, they have made a mistake or two. Let's try to see how we can improve him.
But it's not 1 or 2, Dan. It's not 1 or 2. So like 3 weeks ago, right? 3 weeks ago.
You
cannot remove the culpability of the defense from this.
Let me
cannot remove the culpability of the midfield from this.
Let me also talk about you. Because the topic here is why have we been so far away from home. So let me leave the here now and address the rest of the team. Okay, Manchester United away from home this season, spineless, bro. These men are spineless. Like I've not seen a midfield that is so weak, so soft, a spine that is so feeble away from home like Manchester United this season. And let us
control the midfield today.
You
guys controlled the midfield today. You guys had more possession in this whole game. West Ham was playing on counter. That was all they did from the beginning of the game to the very end. You guys controlled it.
Don, just because control possession does not mean you control the game.
But the thing about it is, the goal they scored was counter.
No. Just because you hold ball. West Ham are not a ball holding team. They don't play with the ball. Whether they're home or away, they're not a possession based team. So of course we were always gonna have more possession. That was not the problem today.
So
tell me how many times we completed three. I'm just saying 3.
3 passes.
3 successful passes in the final third of West Ham today.
You guys completed many passes, especially in the final third. The problem was you couldn't score the goals. If you have a problem, it's the finishing.
But combine that about this game, though. Don't you think that the onus of all these problems falls on Ten Hag?
No, you can't. You can't say Ten Hag.
Let me think about it. Like the problem Arsenal had last season was that we were very terrible away from home, right? We were very, very terrible away from home last season. Like we were just getting beat left, right, and center away from home. Our home form was a little bit decent, but away from home we were terrible. Now this season we've added like a couple more players, and now our away form has improved. But so don't you think that Ten Hag is now my point I'm trying to make is you should have seen that okay, these players are not good enough to go away. So rather than set them up the way you set them up at home, set them up differently away from home. So rather than saying you want
quality, but quality is quality, my bro. Like the quality of those players. Also, they look. I watched them today. They look knackered. They look tired.
I mean, you're talking about Manchester United. And you're talking about quality of the players.
You're saying quality. Quality. These guys are Carabao Cup champions, though. Like, what do you mean?
The quality of the players. All these players that you're talking about, Casemiro. Are you talking about? What quality are you talking about?
Okay.
Manchester United is quality.
They just only won Carabao Cup. Champions. Like they're the only ones that have won any trophy this season. Whether you think I'm trolling or not, they are the only ones that have won anything this season. So, what are you saying?
Would you trade? Would you take Maguire or Lindelof?
Did Maguire play today?
Maguire's not. Maguire doesn't.
Did Maguire play today? Why are you putting Maguire?
Okay, Lindelof for Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do that?
Which of the Gabriel? You have to be specific.
No, of course. Our centre back.
Which centre back? So
yes.
No,
would you take him?
The answer is no. The answer is no. No. The point. No. Look, I think
the quality of the players they add are not good enough.
I think with Manchester,
that notwithstanding, though, good enough is not a problem here. Like you can have players
I call bull pucky, man,
and still set them up in a way that it's harder to please. Okay, so take for instance now when Arteta first of all came in, right? Yes, we're not good enough for anything, right? But then you still set them up in a way that it's still going to be harder to be. You would lose games, but at least before Arteta took place, what was the Emery? We were considering what 30 shots per game, like literally 30 shots per game. That was what Leno was facing every single time. So one of the first things that he did was to at least mitigate that problem. You know, make sure that you would lose games for sure, but at least make it harder for your opponents to beat you. You know, you are saying that. Go ahead.
I'm going to say this. I just want to put one point out. Fabian Schär, that everybody has been making noise about this whole season. Do you know how much it cost? £3.5 million. That's how much Fabian Schär cost. How much does Lindelof cost? Like 40 million, 50 million.
But it goes beyond that, Don. It goes beyond
you guys are not training them the right way.
It goes beyond the defense, though. It goes beyond the defense. How much are you guys paying on your midfield?
How much are you guys playing on your midfield? How much is Casemiro?
Willock.
How much was Willock? Willock was 25 million.
At the time you bought him,
it was 20 million. It was actually 20 million.
No,
how much was Alain Saint-Maximin? Alain Saint-Maximin was 15 million.
I'm talking about the fact that to have a very good defense, it starts from the front. Like you said earlier, right? Some of those players who play for Man United, right? They're either overpaid players who are not pulling their weight, or the quality is just not there.
I think they're not pulling their weight.
I think it is not pulling the weight. Let me just make sure I answer the question as posed, because the way I phrase the question is very interesting, because you look at our form at home, we're doing very well at home. Okay, away from home, we're very, very poor. I wish I had like the league. I had the league table for like home performances away from. But anyway, I think we have to be like bottom 5 away from home.
Don't worry, I can take it for
talk
you.
About
go on.
When we're looking at the evolution of the Ten Hag budget, let's remember that this is his very first season, right? Not everything will be fixed this season. And the thing is, at some point, look, Manchester United is like we're like an old jalopy, like an old car, right? Think of your very first car, right? If you still had that car today, right? You fix the transmission today, right? Then the fuel pump goes out tomorrow. You fix the fuel pump, then the battery goes out. You fix the battery, the alternator goes out. That is what Manchester United is. We finally have a coach that knows what he's doing. He's a coach and he's also a good manager, right? And he has seemed to fix, the obvious coaching issues. However, we have some personalities in that team that are just simply you can't move everything. You can't move all the bad furniture out, in one move. It's gonna take some time. My opinion personally, Marcus Rashford is a problem. This is why. And it's unpopular. It is unpopular. It's unpopular with a lot of United fans as well. Take away Marcus Rashford's goals. What does it bring to the team? Nothing. Okay. Now we need to have Ten Hag. Ten Hag needs to work on players like that to a point where even when Rashford is not scoring, there is something he's doing in the team that is not helping. That is not making attacks like just go dead when the ball gets to his feet. When Marcus Rashford gets the ball, every time in the final third, he either scores or it's dead. The ball never progresses into something more positive whenever Rashford is on it. You have take a look at somebody like, Casemiro. Let's not lie about Casemiro. Let us be very, very honest about Casemiro. Right? Casemiro is a destroyer. Passing needs to improve. I hope that improves next season with better coaching. He's a good screener. He's a good destroyer. The passing is shit. I'm sorry. Especially medium range passing. It is horrible.
Let's just be clear. This is the same Casemiro that won the Champions League 4 times.
I'm tired of. It's funny to always.
Hold on. You're telling me. Hold on. You're saying that because Casemiro won Champions League at Real Madrid. Real Madrid is the Rolls Royce.
That's the point. That's the point that you made.
He went from Rolls Royce, bro. This guy went from Rolls Royce to wheelbarrow. What are you talking about, bro?
That's my point.
Casemiro is wheelbarrow now.
It's not.
The funny thing about it is, AY said that the problem was the coach. You've just proven that the problem is the coach.
So no, I'm not saying, bro. The coach just got there. What are you talking about? You want the coach to fix a problem that has been brewing for 10 years?
But no, this problem has been predominant throughout this season. Why hasn't he fixed it? You said at the beginning of this rant that the coach has Manchester United has suffered every time they go away. You said that if they bring the table, you see that the different forms between home and away. It's the coach's game to fix that kind of thing. It's not. But then, don't remove Ten Hag from this. Don't remove Ten Hag. The fact that they're not doing well away is the coach's fault. I don't understand. All of a sudden, Casemiro is now a wheelbarrow. Sell Rashford to us, please.
They're actually not doing bad. Because I'm looking at the form table right now. You guys are like 5th on the table, which is not bad considering where you're coming from. It's actually not bad. I mean, maybe it's been blown out of proportion because of how close these games have been and how you've been losing games. But
I'm sorry. Look.
I think Casemiro is not as good as he is in Madrid because of the players around him, which includes what's his name again? Max Sauce. What's his name? The guy that will play the yeah. I mean, the guy useless.
Let's again. Christian Eriksen, that man fades. That man fades in games. Like, okay, I feel like I'm just over here. Look, maybe my head needs to calm down. But I'm not willing to blame Ten Hag. I'm not willing to blame Ten Hag as much as I'm willing to blame these players.
Okay. I think you're missing the point.
What I want from Ten Hag on a general level, I'm seeing it. Is he doing some dumb shit that is pissing me off? Yes. Why are you starting Wout Weghorst today? Why? Why did Wout Weghorst start the game today? I don't know. I will never understand. It's just look.
Who bought Wout Weghorst? Who bought Wout Weghorst? So you should buy Wout Weghorst and just put him on the bench.
Okay. Now, Don. Now you're just being unfair.
Because I'm pointing out the inconsistencies.
No. I'm not gonna let you. No. What was he supposed to do? What was the guy supposed to do? Ronaldo burned down the house and left. Okay,
Ronaldo burnt down the house, or the coach burnt down the house that Ronaldo was living in.
Ronaldo chose to burn down the house.
Before Ten Hag came, he was already saying that he was going to put Ronaldo on the bench.
No. Yeah, what?
Yes, that was what was coming out from Ten Hag's camp. That he's not going to rely on Ronaldo, that he's going to rely on new young players. No. And then when he came, he did exactly that. And Ronaldo flipped out. Ten Hag. Let's talk about Ten Hag. Ten Hag has a lot of things to do with how Manchester United.
No.
Okay.
I'm not putting as much.
I'm going to say this. It's always funny for me. The reason why I like to listen to you is because when Manchester United comes and they lose a game, it's always funny to watch how Manchester United fans react. It's funny because they think that it's their God-given right to win games. And it's always fun to see you blow up out of... Just this morning, before this game started, at 7:30 a.m., I was receiving messages from Manchester United fans. They were telling me, hey, it's good. We're going to finally take over today. You guys don't deserve to be here. You are below us. And all of a sudden, they lost the game. They said they are watching Formula One. Don't come here.
I was watching Formula One too. I was watching Formula One too.
Manchester United fans are funny, man.
No.
You can never say Casemiro is a wheelbarrow.
I said he left a Rolls Royce team and came to a wheelbarrow team. That's what I said. Okay. That's what I said. And again, Casemiro himself, if you paid attention to his form at Real Madrid, towards the end of the season, he fades. But you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I'm not.
But the coach should know about that, right?
Actually, what's concerning now is the fact that Man U, because when you talk about people blowing title race and blowing like the position.
Oh, I'm going to blow top 4.
So after they blow this title race, by the way, let's be clear on this, because.
Whoa! Nah. You blew this title race like a balloon, bro. You blew it. What? It was you guys. No. I'm not gonna let you.
Okay, go ahead. After could make 90 points this season and still not win the title. In seasons past, how many times have you seen a team make 90 points?
Liverpool got 90.
That's my point. But they didn't blow the league, though. They didn't blow the league. But beaten by better team.
When Liverpool was doing all that.
Beaten by better team.
I hear you.
Arsenal is big.
Man U situation.
Let's not. See, this is the problem. Another problem. Arsenal was leading by 12 points.
Liverpool.
They are ready there to throw out their
Liverpool.
Never 12 points.
In December, if you had seen the Arsenal fan.
No, exactly.
With the celebration. You are saying that I started this stuff. Prince I was the one that started it. Because I was saying like Arsenal is going to lose they're not going to win. And Prince I came, he was like, Raji, you have problems, man. Go away from here, man. This guy is acting like as if I started anything. Who was looking for trouble with us now?
My performance be like Lewis Hamilton today. Lewis Hamilton.
Liverpool.
We're not leaving by 11.
No.
Point is the game in hand.
Hold on. Let me.
But the thing there is, if you look at it from another angle, is he really blowing it when you have to be perfect like Man City?
That's my point. That's exactly my point.
You're blowing it.
No.
That's exactly my point.
Let's forget about this blowing thing for a second. Without
forget about it. It's going to be in the back of my mind. Blowing it. You guys blew this. You guys blew the
You change yourself from Arsenal FC to ABC, bro. Arsenal bottling company. You man bottled it. You guys.
Leicester didn't bottle it. Leicester
Leicester did not bottle it.
Leicester did not bottle it. Arsenal bottled it. You guys were leading by more.
How many points did Leicester win?
It doesn't matter. You won the league.
90 points is a lot.
We are talking about Liverpool. When Liverpool lost the league, right, to Manchester City, they were busy doing well in Champions League. They were winning FA Cups. They were winning Carabao Cups, right? You man, FA Cup, you ja. Carabao, you ja. Europa League, you ja. The one title race that you focus your attention on, you still bottled it in your best season. Bamshe, since I've known you since 2007. Since that time, this is the best season you've had as an Arsenal fan. And guess what?
You guys are
going to win fewer trophies than me.
You're trying to rewrite history.
Let that sink in, bro. Get out of here.
Jola, you know what's thinking in? Is the fact that next season there's going to be a club. They're going to be playing Champions League songs, and on your own situation, you'll be playing like you will not be hearing that song for a long time.
No. When
for a very long time.
You've been out of the Champions League time. You forgot what the song sounds like, bro. You forgot what the Champions League song sounds like. You're hearing, that's all you hear in your head, bro. No. Get out of here. I'm over here singing. What?
Manchester United will still qualify for Champions League.
You're not talking about okay. You know what?
I know what's more concerning is that your recruitment relied on making Champions League.
But Arsenal zone too.
We're in Champions League already. We're in Champions League already.
For the first time in 6 years, bro. 6 or 7 years. The first time you're making Champions League.
Look at this is the dichotomy of Arsenal fans. I will support you to a point, man. But man, when you start to make noise, you look for trouble. When you find the trouble.
Wait. Let me understand something. So let's even assume that we are just making noise, and July is also
you don't need to assume we are making noise.
We're not assuming.
No assumption necessary.
No. Okay. We are making noise, but writing you to your this one don't spoil you. Rajito is making noise.
When have I not made noise? I've always made noise about Newcastle.
Yeah. By the way,
I've always made noise. I've not changed.
Newcastle were dead food. Even when Newcastle were dead food, Raji was always talking.
When I came I said Newcastle would come top 10 and all of you would laugh.
Yeah.
Don't come at me, man.
Let's talk
consistent.
Let's talk about this last before we go to Kudos and Donkey of the week. Talk about quick thoughts about Messi and PSG. You guys know what happened. Messi he wanted a big payday. Man went and took a meeting in Saudi Arabia. PSG did not sanction the meeting and they suspended him for 2 weeks. I think he came out with a video and apologized to PSG and the teammates and all that. Meanwhile, the fans are like, they've turned on him. They've turned on Neymar. What do you guys think of the Messi suspension and because he's gonna leave at this point, right? What will his legacy be at PSG?
I think he's diminished himself.
That guy's won everything, Joe. His legacy is his legacy. Nothing's going to happen.
I'm going to say that first of all, as Prince AY just said, he's not overall. Messi is still going to be great, but he's diminished himself at PSG, and the fact that he's going to end up playing in the Saudi league. It kind of feels like the Saudi league is coming up because now they have some of the top old people in the game, the top oldest folks. Next thing you know, they're going to bring the 54-year-old Japanese guy to come and play for them.
But why did Messi go to PSG in the first place? Why did Messi go to PSG?
That's what I was going to address. Because
for the money, right?
PSG.
Was for the money. It was because he had no other choice, right? So he really didn't care enough. He didn't go there because he really cared about them or he had a tie to them, right? So honestly, I don't think he really cares much.
I don't think he cares either.
He got paid for a job. He's done the job now. He's gonna leave and he's gonna go make more money somewhere else.
I think that the people at PSG expected more from him, though. He didn't show up. I think that's the problem with paying for money. This is the problem with playing for money.
Yes.
It's like when you play for a motivation, like when he played at the World Cup. I don't think I've ever seen Messi play the way he played for Argentina, the way he played for PSG. Never. When you're playing for the money, you are paying for the money. Whether you do well or not, you still get the money. But when you're playing for passion, it's the same thing. He's like, they're never going to get the best of Messi. And I think that the time he has spent at PSG has just been to rake in the cash. And when he goes to Saudi Arabia, it's going to be the same. They're not going to get the best of him. It's like watching Muhammad Ali after he started getting knocked out all the time. People don't remember that time.
Yeah, I think at this point, anybody who gets Messi, Ronaldo, even Neymar right now, you're getting them at a point where they've done everything they can do in football. They've done everything they can do. In Ronaldo's case, he hasn't. I can't say he's conquered football, but he's achieved.
It's so sad for Neymar, though.
He's so sad for Neymar. Club level, and he achieved everything at country level too, bar the World Cup. Messi literally conquered football. Neymar, he hasn't conquered shit, but his body can't take him anywhere else, right? So
I would be really disappointed if Neymar goes because he's only 31.
Yeah, but Raji, you know how Neymar is a party boy.
He's not going to be partying in Saudi Arabia.
They gave Ronaldo concessions. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
So,
You mean that Ronaldo is partying in his house right now?
Yeah, he's partying. Yeah.
No,
but the point I'm trying to make is
I think his point is
I think PSG fans and just PSG as a whole, I think they're asking for too much, right? When they're asking for Messi to come and turn their fortunes around and help them win Champions League, that was never gonna happen. Everybody saw this as a show from
honestly, I work in the hospital, and I work as a doctor, right? I don't come to work and I'm coming to make friends or be buddy, right? I come because I have a job there, I do it, and I go home, right? The same thing with these guys. And I'm sure for Jala, your lawyer, whatever, So like it doesn't matter. I think like if you get paid for a job, you go to the job, you do the job well, and you leave. And I think from that standpoint, I think Messi's done that.
I think the problem is the foundation of PSG was built on the fact that they had money. Yes. So they attracted people who had money.
Exactly.
Who wanted money. And they don't have, I mean, remember the PSG of Okocha's day when they used to be about the game. I don't see them playing for that at the moment.
Ronaldinho time. Yeah.
Plus, again, Messi literally won everything. There is really no motivation to keep going except like just pay me more money. Right. Like the only thing missing in his CV is the World Cup, and then technically he's the second greatest player. Like if you want to put it that way, second greatest player since Pele, right? He probably seems like a demigod, right? He probably like, it's there, like guys, if you want to send me away. I just want to make money, right?
But the thing is, at least he apologized, unlike another GOAT who left, and burned down the whole place. But anyway, let's go to Kudos and Donkey. Let's go to Kudos and Donkey of the week. Raji, we'll start with you. Let's start with Kudos. Who's your Kudos?
What's the name of forgetting his name? He was in my head just a second ago. The former Manchester Company, Vincent Company, for bringing the team to the Premiership and being awarded a new 5-year contract. He's played. They won the championship comfortably. Yeah. And he got his
record time too, right? That's a record time, right?
Absolutely. And I think that the fact that they've played so well, and you give them, given his reputation, the fact that he's able to take all the things he learned and is so tactically astute says a lot about his character. So my kudos goes to him. Okay. Vincent Company.
Bamiche, who's your kudos?
My kudos today goes to Ramsdale for keeping Arsenal in the game. I really think this game could have been completely different if not for Ramsdale. So it goes to him.
Okay. Prince, say why?
I think I'll go for Ramsdale too. That guy literally earned every cent of his wages today. It's like I think maybe last week, maybe someone removed his wages and I was just very angry that I need my wages, man. I'm telling you, you don't do so.
I don't ask you, baby. Like that. My own kudos will go to Napoli, the entire football club. Napoli is the example of what Raji was just saying, that some clubs are built on the foundation of money, right? Napoli is one of those clubs. They don't even have money. Right? In Italy, I mean, you guys know about Italy. There's like, that whole division of north south. Napoli is in the south. All the successful teams like Juventus, Inter Milan, AC Milan. Then the north, even Roma, that's in the middle. They're more like, they get more money. They get more political favors than a club like Napoli. And ever since Maradona left, Napoli has not been, they've been dead. They even got relegated to the third division. And look, big up to them. And let's not forget, last season, they got rid of Dries Mertens. They got rid of Lorenzo Insigne. They got rid of Koulibaly. When they sold Koulibaly, Napoli fans wanted to, they were going to have the head of that sporting director, but it's all paid off now. Victor Osimhen, our brother, is doing. Nigeria they carry last. But Ghana,
we carried last to Ghana this time, sure. Let's go.
I know. Let's He's doing well until he misses his next penalty. I don't trust that in those Italians. I don't trust them, man.
I will not forgive Victor Osimhen. That time they passed the ball to him against Ghana. Just shoot the ball inside the net. The guy wanted to do skill, which nonsense. Never miss. That dude.
Anyway, big up to him. And even Kvaratskhelia. Napoli, I mean, they just deserve it. Anyway, Donkey, bro. AY, start us off with Donkey.
That's obvious now. United. You guys get battered everywhere you go. United get battered everywhere they go.
John, who's the Donkey?
My Donkey is Sam Allardyce, man. I think
that's a good one.
if you can come in your speech conference and say you are better than Pep, you are better than all the coaches in the world, you're the best manager in the league, then you have to show it on the pitch. You can't just come out and make a statement like that and then capitulate in the next game.
This guy confidently opened his mouth and said, "I'm as good as Klopp. I'm as good as bro. You're not even as good as Eddie Howe."
When he was manager of Bolton, didn't they get relegated? How many teams has he? When he was manager of Newcastle too,
bro.
He always thinks.
Can I just throw this real quick? Why are English managers so bad?
No, Eddie Howe is one of them. Please, Eddie Howe is good.
Eddie Howe, Eddie Howe is one of the few exceptions. Eddie Howe
is an exception, but then if you look at Eddie Howe, he didn't most of his studies was from Spain, like was it Atletico Madrid or where did he study? Like, yeah. But generally speaking, like,
I think you have to understand that there's a level of racism that builds amongst these British people who they always feel like they are better than everybody.
Yeah.
So they don't want to learn. They don't generally want to learn.
The average Englishman or British person will not go outside of England or the UK to go and learn, to go and apply their trade. They think everything is best. The same thing with he has never done it in the Premier League. Can he come here and do it? all that nonsense. So I hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that.
So anyway, I'm going to tell the members of Fox News that are watching this that you can now clip this scene and put it as your point of reverse racism.
Bamshe, who's your donkey?
It would have to be Man U team as a whole. Jeez. Not just the air by himself, but these overpaid idiots who. So I'm not a big fan of people saying change coach, because these players every year and year they stay while they fire the coaches. While like the guys who are overpaid get to stay. The likes of like Martial should be very ashamed of himself, honestly. Like some of the players who play for Man U need to be ashamed. Like it's not the air now anymore. Like about a month and a half ago, Tomiyasu came in the team, made a back pass against the Man City, and we considered a goal. The whole team went around him and said, "Good, like, get it going. Yeah. It's okay."
Yeah, put it up.
But today, the moment he did that, Rashford had his hands on his head. Everybody was like just down. So as an old team, they need to be ashamed of themselves.
I hear that. And I'm just gonna triple down on that. Donkey has to be Manchester United. I'm giving Manchester United the donkey proactively for bottling top 4 because I'm looking at Liverpool right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. When you look at your side mirror and they say objects are closer than they appear. that is what Liverpool is doing to me right now. I am scared. I'm about to piss my pants. But anyway, that brings us to the end of the podcast. Again, we're on YouTube at Footy Fantasy. We're on Twitter at Footy AD Fantasy and on Instagram at Fantasy Footy. Bamishe, bro, big up to you, man. Appreciate you for joining us, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for inviting me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, nice chatting with you.
You made a strong debut. 1 goal and 1 assist.
1 goal and 1 assist.
Prince AY. Appreciate it, man. It's finally good to see you on camera because all those comments on the group, I'm just like,
with the revisionist history.
I know. Yeah, I know, right?
Raji, don't worry, we'll meet again.
Of course not. But I'm going to say, despite the fact that Napoli won, the amount of racism that is in Italian football is just ridiculous.
I am tired of
absolutely ridiculous. Now they're going to hold Osimhen as a big deal. But next year, if he misses a goal, they'll start throwing banana on the pitch. This crazy.
Dan, you know what's more disappointing? You know what's more disappointing is the fact that they give them one match ban crap. They do it every time. If you're gonna punish them for real. Like if you catch anybody being racist, ban them from every football game in the country. Like they cannot go watch any game ever again. Yeah. You don't ban them from one stadium, they shouldn't go to any other stadium anymore.
Yeah.
You do that to one person, they will learn from it.
Yeah. What they did to Lukaku was just despicable. Anyway, Raji, as usual, always a pleasure to have you. And
I'm a noisemaker. Don't forget.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course. Please make the noise for me because my own voice has to be quiet.
Because they started to revise the history saying I was a peaceful man before Newcastle started. I've never been a peaceful man, no.
Raja has never been peaceful. Raja has never been
just don't come for me because, like I said, objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. You just
give me problem. Give me problem.
Raji said, I don't want peace. I want problem.
Always.
All right, guys. Peace out. See you guys next week.
Ciao.
All right, guys.